about two things that he's standing for. Number one, anything is possible as long as you believe that you're in a relationship with the Almighty that can do anything and everything. We don't listen and we don't function within the realms of Olam, this world. If his mother, would have gone to the top leading doctor in the city, in NYU or wherever it may be, and he was a Jew with a yarmulke on, and he would have told her, listen,
not possible,
right? Then if she was living today, she would kind of give up, right? So that's not what we're about. So that's number one. Okay, that's message number one, and message number two, and then it's going to be what I want to say after message number two is, so where are you putting your brain, and where are you putting your heart, and where are you putting your energies on this Lag BaOmer? Meaning from tonight till tomorrow night, where are you? Okay, it's really important that we're mechavin ourselves. If we're mechavin ourselves, we align ourselves with the truth comes into our life. If we're just all scattered, then we can't grasp from what's going on. Okay, from what is being given to this world. Okay, so Rabbi Shimon it's clear, right, that he was the fire of fires, he was the heart of hearts, right, that he wrote the Torah, that he wrote this Nister of Torah. Now it says over here that it says that the Kabbalah, the Zohar, is Torah shel Nister. It's the hidden Torah, right? The Torah that's Nister. It says, Shana, okay, Kol Shana v'Shana, every single year, Nishpa b'yom hazeh or gadol, on this day, from after Shkia tonight till tomorrow night, okay? Nishpa b'yom hazeh or gadol, a very big light. Shel Pnimiyas Torah comes into the world. A huge light of Pnimiyas Torah, meaning in the heart and soul of the Torah, that part of the Torah, comes into the world on this one day. And every single person is privy to this light from the Kedusha of the Yom, of the tonight. And to get some of the light, to get some of the clarity, to get some of the depth, to get some of the Kedusha of the hidden Torah. That we live from. In essence, that's where we live from. In essence, that's where we get our most chizuk and our most hislavus of Torah. Where do you get your hislavus from? Where do you get your hislavus from? From learning a shir in Gemara? No. Where do you get your hislavus from? That's from men. Where do we get our hislavus from? We get our hislavus from talk neshama to me, talk emotions to me, talk lave to me, talk heart to me. And you don't even know today. It's interesting that it says that the Zohar. It says that the Zohar was given. The Zohar was given to Klal Yisrael 2,000 years ago when Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai was alive, right? And is not going to be revealed. It says that it's not going to be revealed until the generation before Mashiach. And we are the generation before Mashiach. The generation before Mashiach is the generation where all of a sudden everyone is going to be after the heart and soul. Give me heart, give me heart, give me heart, give me heart. Right? Everyone. Who started this? The Arizal. The Arizal brought forth the Zohar, right? And then his Talmud, Rav Chaim Vital, right, took it to the next level. And then after him, the Baal Shem Tov, Rabbi Nachman, all the ones that talk about Pnimiyas HaTorah. Meaning, what happens to your neshama when you hold your fingers up to the light and by Havdalah? What happens to your neshama when you make Kiddush on Friday night and you look at the nearest or you cover the challah? What happens to your neshama? That's Pnimiyas HaTorah. That's the tam of the mitzvahs of what we're even doing here. Right? So there's a whole question of why did it have to linger for 2,000 years without anyone knowing about it? No one knew. It says that in the past, the Gedolim of the past generations, they used to hide it, the Zohar. They never printed it. They used to pass it from one gadol to the next. It was in hiding. Mm-hmm. Today it's everything is for the good and the bad, right? Mm-hmm. So today, as much as you have it in the olam, the yeshiva olam, in the world of the people that really want to know the Pnimiyas Torah and are davik to Hashem from it, you also have the Kabbalah Center and Madonna, right? So because everything has to be balanced out in this world, right? The good and the bad. It has to you have to have the most amazing thing in the world be taken and beat by the most putrid person in the world, right? So, by the lowest person in the world. And she called herself Esther, which is whatever. It's so deep and it's so crazy. Anyway, so he says like this, so he says like this, he says that the neshama of Rabbi Shimon was the Gilgal of Moshe Rabbeinu. Moshe Rabbeinu gave the actual Torah, Rabbi Shimon gave the Pnimiyas Torah. Okay? It says that Lag BaOmer is Kabbalah Satorah. There are people that have put on, first of all, it's a thing to put on new clothes, because it's a thing not to wear new clothes during Sfira. It's a thing to put on new clothes on Lag BaOmer. Okay, so I actually, it's very interesting. It's very interesting. It's tonight. It's not today. It's still Sfira. Today we're still in Avilas. Okay.
Already prepared for tonight.
Great. It's very interesting that I never ever order anything online. And the other day I ordered something online, and I got it, and I was wondering where it was. And this morning I was thinking, oh my gosh, I bought something on Sfira. I'm not allowed to buy anything on Sfira, right? But I haven't yet received it. It wasn't like I went to the store and bought it and took it home with me, and now I have it. I don't have it. So I paid for it, but it's not with me. Okay. And then I saw, and when is it getting to me tonight at 8 p.m.? I'm like, wow. So now I have something new to wear, and I didn't buy it on Sfira, and I didn't even plan it that way. How cool is that? So he says like this. He says that tonight and tomorrow is Kabbalah Satorah for Pnimiyas Satorah. This is the Shavus of Kabbalah, of the Kabbalah, of the Zohar, of the Pnimiyas of Torah. Which means, well, where am I supposed to be mechav in my mind? Where am I supposed to be mechav in my das? And this is really what I want to talk about right now. And this, without this point, no one is leaving this room. Okay? Because you do not come to my class if you don't hear this. Okay? This is it. This is all of it. Till now it was just like nice, but now this is it. Okay? Okay. Okay. It says like this. It says that why was he such a person? Why was he such a person that every single yid comes to him? It says that tonight is Hod Shebehod. That's the sphere of tonight, Hod Shebehod. Now it says Hod Shebehod is the lowest of the low. It's the lowest of the low. What does the lowest of the low mean? It means, it comes from the lashon of Devorah. Devorah is like where all the hardships and yisurim and difficulties, that's Hod Shebehod. Okay, it's like the hardest, most difficult, where all our problems come from, where all your yisurim come from, where all our difficulties come from, that's Hod Shebehod. That's his midah. That's Rabbi Shimon. Right? And he explains like this, and he says something amazing here. He says, I want to read to you because it's worthy to be written. It's worthy to be read. It says like this. Come on, where are you? Okay, I'll just say it over. He says like this. He says that only a person that is such a great light can go to the lowest places and to the lowest people and to the biggest rishayim in this world and make them feel loved. Right? When is a person about themselves? When a person's about themselves, well, you see that he judges this one, he judges that one, and this one's no good, and that one doesn't wear that, and that one doesn't go to that shul, and that one doesn't eat that hechsher, and he doesn't follow that minhag, and I saw him wearing that thing, and I saw him over there, right? Right? Why? A person talks that way, right? When he isn't holding. When a person is holding, then he can see any of his brothers and sisters, no matter where they are, with tattoos, with piercings, smoking a bong, for all I care. Okay? The lowest of the lowest of the lowest of the low. But if you're a high person, and if you're a neshamadika person, and if you're a person that's filled with love, and a person that's connected to Klal Yisrael, and connected to this incredible nation that we're a part of, then there is no judgments. There are no you should be, then I'll accept you. If you look like that, then you can come to my house for Shabbos. Otherwise, I'm not allowing my children to see that at my Shabbos table. That's not Kedusha. Go to Meiron. These weird ladies with all their bags and all their stuff and all these weird men, he loves all of them. They all gravitate to him. Right? Enter the hotel. Right? Because there's no you're not good. I had an experience the other day in a restaurant here. I sit somewhere a lot. I bring my kids to school. I don't live in the area, so I bring my laptop and I work. And I'm always sitting somewhere specifically. And I was having a very hard day. Very, 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 very hard day. Like sometimes I have great days. Sometimes Hashem really just smacks me up, right? I'm having a very hard day with myself and my own life and feeling like I don't want to feel like I deserve, but having a very hard day. And everyone was saying the wrongest things in the world to me. Like my best friend, I was like, can you do me a favor? Can you just put that phone call in for me? I really need whatever. And she's like, I really don't appreciate how you're... Huh? bye, right? And then my mom was like, what did you do today? I'm like, what? Bye, right? And someone said something not nice. Oh, this guy. I'm like, I try very hard to do everything betuf tam, to really do whatever I put up online should be like, no, nothing should be too much anything. I know people are watching it. I even though I try not to accept too many male. But they also want to watch, and they're also connected to like this derech and this way. Right? But I never answer them if they talk to me. Right? So this one guy that day sent me a message. Your classes are very inspirational, but why are you so provocative and not sneeze? Block you! Block! Right? So I had a really hard day, and then I get up and I want to go to the bathroom. Right? I get up and I want to go to the bathroom, and I walk up to the bathroom, and standing there is a man. Right? His shoes are torn. His pants are torn. His hair is dirty. I was like, I feel like I'm in a Kalbach movie, like a Kalbach song. It's like such a Kalbach thing. And I'm waiting by the bathroom, and he's waiting by the bathroom, and he's holding the bags, torn bags, tons of bags, right? Anyway, by the way, if anyone needs to go, you can go. We had that little break, and I know it's late and whatever. I'm so sorry. It's 12:36. If anyone needs to go. And he's standing there, and he's like, so she comes out. The girl comes out of the bathroom right there, and I'm looking at him, and I know that there's not one person that you meet by accident. There's no one that you just happen to. And he says to me, "Go ahead." So I said, "Are you sure?" He's like, "Yeah, go ahead." So I said, "Okay, thank you." I walk into the bathroom, and when I walk out, he's sitting. He's already sat down with all of his stuff, and he's like heavy, and he's old, right? So he's about to get up, and he's not even thinking that I am going to say a word to him, right? Because no one talks to him, right? And I said to him, "So what's your name?" So he's like, "Me?" And I was like, "Yes, what's your name?" So he tells me his name. And right away he starts telling me, "My father did this to me." He's not well, right? But he's still somewhere. He's still in there somewhere, right? So I listened to him. We spoke for 20 minutes, and then at the end of the conversation, and he was basically 90% of the conversation he was holding. He was doing very nicely. He was doing well. He had a very hard life, but I could tell that he wasn't dirty and like looking at me weird or going to say something. I had a thought that if he was, I was going to run. But then he was really sincerely having just a downtrodden ani that went through a hard life, and life has and he showed me his driver's license that it's really his name. Anyway, and I'm about to walk away from him, and I asked him, I was like, "Do you have any money on you?" And he said, "No, I don't." So I said, "Okay, so wait for a minute." And as I'm walking back to my table, the lady that works in the restaurant, she pulls me by the shirt. She's like, "Don't talk to him. He's crazy, right? Don't talk to him. Don't talk to him. He's crazy. Don't talk to him, right?" And all these people are talking and looking at me "What are you doing?" Right? And I was like, "It's all good. Everything is okay." And I went and I got him some money, and I gave him some money, and he said to me, "I want you to know that the biggest tzedakah that you did for me today is that you listened to me."
Oh, I know.
Because no one listens to me. No one gives me a second, right? And these are the neshamas. These are the neshamas of Rabbi Shimon. These are the people that why? Because there are no judgments. Because he doesn't look like you, right? Because he smells so, right? So, right? That's the idea. The idea is that's Hod Shebahod. Hod Shebahod is that he was so high that he can go to all the lowest places, to all the lowest people, to the people that we don't want to have any shaykhs to, and love them, and give them a moment, and give them a second, and give them a smile, right? And how does that happen? How do you get to that level? Oh, I'm so sorry you're leaving right now. Okay, how do you get to that level? And what's the avodah of Lag Baomer? How do you get to that level? How do you get to the level of loving every single person unconditionally? Number one, like we said last week, you must love yourself. And so this applies to you. Okay? You must love yourself. You can't love anyone unless you love yourself. Okay? But here's the bottom line. Here's today's shir, and here's Lag Baomer in a nutshell. Okay? How are you able to be living in this world and live a life of a Jew, and a life of a Jew, the Jew that Hashem intended us to be, The Jew that Hashem wants us to be is not to have the perfect Jewish home and the perfect Jewish table and the perfect, all that is nice. What Hashem expects us and wants us to be, Hashem's love language is loving each other. Hashem's love language is seeing another person. Hashem's love language is Achdus Yisrael. That's the love language. That is what put us into Galus, that we didn't have that. That is what is going to take us out of Galus. When we are going to have that, the denominations and the boxes and the she's not my type, or they daven there, or she looks like that, or he does that, or up hat, down hat, bakasha, no bakasha, gartel, no gartel. Hashem Yirachim. Hashem Yirachim. You know what it is? You know what it is? You know what all that stuff is? It's tovel v'sheretz biyado. That's what it means. It's as if you think that you're in the mikvah, but you're holding a gigantic nevela in your hands. Which means that you think it's about the gartel and the hat and the thing and the house and the way he looks and daven and the shul and the shaitan. And it's the furthest thing from that. It's the furthest thing from that. That's why it says when Mashiach comes, the people that are near are going to move far away. The people that they look like they're so near. We look like we're so near. The hats and the beards and the people that are going to look like they're so near are going to be so far away. The ones that are really near, maybe a lot of them also have beards and hats. The ones that are really near, the ones that are being ostik b'kedusha, ostik with the real stuff, not with the shtuyot, not with the narishkeit, with the real stuff. Those are the ones that are going to be close to Mashiach. Those are the ones that are going to be in the fire, in the emes, in the Torah. That's what it means. So how do I get to be that kind of person? How do I get to be a person that is able to be hod shebehod? How do I get to be a kind of person where I'm not judging another person because they look different and they act different? How do I get to be a person that is a geula type of yid and not a galus type of yid? What's a galus type of yid? A galus type of yid is you're supposed to look a certain way. You're supposed to act a certain way. I'm sorry. You're supposed to send your boys here. You're supposed to send your girls there. There's a certain level and you're supposed to keep it. And anyone else, am I doing it well? Perfect. And anyone else? And anyone else? I'm sorry. It's bad expose. I'm sorry. No. Right? My child is not going to go. No. Right? Instead of making separations, try love. Instead of separating, try to love. Because everyone gets glued to love. Because we all fiend love. We all are davik to love. We all want love. We all want love so much. People cling to people that are lovers. People cling to people that see the good in them. Instead of disciplining our children that you have to do this and you have to do that, how about loving them and letting them come to it themselves? Because they'll see that it's so sweet. We have to be love motivated, not fear motivated. When we're fear motivated, we're in a place of, if my son doesn't look like that, oh my gosh, then they're going to see that, and they're going to see that, and the yeshiva, and they're not going to come. So you have to do that, you have to go there, you have to go to Chavrusa, you have to go to Minyan, you have to get up, you have to wear your hat, you have to wear Hashem. Wow. And then he's like, leave me alone. Right? And that's why we have so many people going off the derech today. Because we're all a bunch of fear-motivated people. So many of us. So fearful that we're not going to be accepted. So fearful that people are going to look at us. So fearful that our family is going to have some kind of a stigma. Right? So fear-motivated. We have to be love-motivated. Love-motivated is come from a place of love. And don't worry about what everyone else thinks. They're all afraid. They're all afraid. All the people that are putting the stigmas, they're all afraid. All the people that are looking at you negatively, they're all afraid. Love-motivated means you come from a place of love. You come from a place, I see you. I know you. I love you. I'm here for you. We're buds. With no agenda. I'll be nice, so he'll put on a hat. I'll be nice, and he'll go to Minyan. No. No agenda. Just love. Right? That is what it means. And I wanted to say, he says here, how do you get to this level? How do you get to this level? And this is how you get to this level. I can sit here. By the way, guys, I have a problem. I can teach you till you leave. So that means unless you get up and walk out, I'm going to continue talking. Because I have till 3 o'clock, so I'm good to go. No, I'm not joking, right? And I was also thinking, no, I'm kidding. Bracha's like, get out of my house.
still have food that has to go.
Yeah. So and I was also thinking, if anybody has, I have the summer free, and I have a lot of things that I have to be doing, and a lot of that has to be also needing books, and I don't have so many books. So if anybody has a library, a quiet room that they would like to give me a key to, I would sit in your library a whole summer. I would not make a sound, maybe a few videos, but not a sound. Okay, just to use your Sfarim and your space. Let me know. Okay, so he says like this. He says, how do you get to this place? How do you get to this place? He says, I'm just going to read one part because this part blew my socks off. Where is it? Here. How do you get to this place? He says, the only way to get to a place of real love, of real goodness with people, with yourself. Remember, that once you do this, you start loving yourself. Once you love yourself, that means no more angry fingers pointing at self. No more you should have. I can't believe you did that. I can't believe you didn't do that. Oh my gosh. None of that anymore. You're so fat. You're so this. None of that language going on in our minds anymore, right? So once we do this, this is really the solution to all of it. This is really where it's all at. He says like this. He says, the root of simcha is to be mevatel yourself. What does be mevatel yourself mean? As long as a person is totally drowning in himself and his own worries and his own fears and his own problems and what's going on in his life and how terrible it is and how miserable he is and all the things that are happening in his life, his whole world is revolving around himself and around his problems and around his home and around his husband, her husband, and his wife, and their whole life is revolving around they themselves. So simcha is something that's going to be far, far away from them. Because always there are going to be issues in body and in nefesh that are not according to your will. There's always going to be problems. There are always going to be things that are not according to the way you want them to be. They're always going to, even if you make that million, and even if you get that house, and even if you get to that guy, and even if you get to that child, and even if you get to, there are always going to be problems. Always, because that's the teva of this world. That's what Hashem wants us to go through, hurdles to get our pnimius to come out. Right? These problems are these things are causes, don't allow a person to be besimcha. Only when ha'adam mishtachrer, a person loosens ma'ishut v'anochiyut from his own selfishness. I know you. What do you mean selfishness? I have to. And all the stuff like jealousy, taiva, wanting things that you don't have, v'tragzut, and anger. Interesting that he thought of anger, v'chadome, and other qualities like this. Mimeno v'hala. And as long as a person is stuck in this place of selfishness and my life and I don't really have time for chesed, I don't really have time to have people in my house, I don't really have to have time to have guests, I don't have, right, my issues, and complains about all the things that are going on in their life all the time and cries about their situation. And the reason that I'm bringing this point in so much is maybe not for the women in this room, but definitely for the people that I get phone calls from, that my life is worse and terrible and I feel so bad for myself and sitting in a dark room on the floor crying. I don't care about my children, I can't stand them. I mean, my husband yells at them all the time. I can't deal with it. My son has ADHD, this one has this one has that one, and I can't function, and we have no money. My life is, I want to die. One second. Right? It says that as long as a person is stuck in their Daled Amos, simcha is something that's going to be far, far away from them. The only way for a person to get to a place of simcha is the only way for him to get to simcha is to be a giver. It's hard for you to give. That's why it's hard for you to give, because that's where your avoda is. And then he says over here, Ki hanhaga lemala, the way we are dealt with from above. Hi ke'ayin hatzel is exactly the way your shadow appears with you. Wherever you go, it goes. However you move your arm, that's the way your shadow moves. Huna kefit tnuot ha'adam, the way you are dealt with, what you are given, the answers that you're so craving for. Think about the things that you so want a Yeshua in. and think about your own actions for a second. See how they correlate. See how it's so clear. Meaning, if I were a person that had to be a little bit more of a giver, and with my time, with my smiles, with being a little bit more calm, with getting rid of my to-do list a little bit, and making time for my mom, making time for that coffee date, making time for that, for that whatever, maybe going to a soup kitchen maybe once or twice, even though I have so many things on my list. But being that kind of giver, says that the way your shadow is with you, that's where we are dealt with in Shemayim. To the same extent. Hunna kefi tnuot ha'adam. It moves according to the movements of us. We are dealt with according to our movements, meaning the movements from above are the movements from below. That's how it is. That's it. The avoda of, now I'm going to give you tachlis. Okay, tachlis is, it's a segula to light a candle on Lag Baomer tonight. I have to shkia and say, Or HaTzadikim Yizrach, Ner HaReshaim Idach. Okay? Or HaTzadikim, the light of the righteous, Yizrach, should come up. When we talk about or, we're talking about not a physical light, we're talking about a clarity, we're talking about seeing the truth, seeing the MS, not all on the shikra. Okay? Or HaTzadikim Yizrach.
Wait, I'm going to put it to my phone. Wait, no, hold on a second. Wait. Or HaTzadikim Yizrach.
Ner HaReshaim Idach.
Ner HaReshaim Yidach.
Yeah. Idach means to go down. Ner HaReshaim Idach. There it says that, it's interesting that it says ner, that the Rishaim have a ner, because they also have a light here in this world. It also looks exciting.
It's English, but
Idach. Yud Daled Ayin Chaf
Yidach.
What is it in the beginning?
Yidach.
Or HaTzadikim Yizrach, Ner HaReshaim Idach, and the next part you're going to say, you're going to ask, no, it's over. You're going to ask, you're going to say, look at this, you're going to say, B'schos Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, I'm asking from HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and then you're going to ask for one bakasha. Okay? But you have to say that. You have to say, B'schos Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, in the merit of Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai. Don't remember not to pray to Rabbi Shimon. B'schos Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, on this day, and Yimavakeshet Ma'Hashem, I'm asking from Hashem, I'm asking from HaKadosh Baruch Hu, one bakasha. And think well about your bakasha.
Yeah.
Okay?
One.
What do you ask?
And then you can light 100 million candles and ask for whatever you want, and say Tehillim and daven and dance with your children and light a bonfire. But I want to say one thing. One more thing, and then you can go.
Wrote the second part down.
Yeah, I'll send it.
Give you something to think about. Alright? Give you something to think about. 24,000 Talmidim of Rabbi Akiva were gigantic Talmidim. Okay? Okay? It wasn't like today. It wasn't like the Mir or Panovich or Lakewood. It was like, hi, bye. Okay? The Torah, the levels, it was crazy. Okay? No one knows who they are. No one knows them by name. No one knows they even existed.
It's true.
And not only that, they've created, because of their lack of seeing the other person, their lack of love, so much Torah, so much halacha, so much Gemara, so much. But bepoal, in actuality, if you don't take all this much and put it into your being and infuse your neshama with MS, and then bring it out into the world and be an or, be a light, and bring Hashem help. What happens when you're a person that loves? What do? When you're a person that loves and you're a Torah-dika person, what happens? Anyone that bumps into you in this world, anyone that you see, automatically walks away from you and says, wow, right? Feels good about themselves. Not with a geschmack vort. Not because you were like on your toes about how I know God exists, right? No. Because of the fact that you cared about them. The fact that you looked at them in the eye and you gave them a moment. Right? So all of a sudden, they feel more positive about everything that you stand for. And what did you just do? Huge Kiddush Hashem. What's a Kiddush Hashem? Kiddush Hashem is that when you bring more Hashem into this world. That's what we're here to do. We're here to bring more Hashem into the world. You're here to bring more Hashem into the world. That's your mitzvah. That's all you're supposed to do. You don't have any other mitzvah. You know we don't really have, besides Fachala, Neiros, and Nida, we don't have any mitzvahs, right? Not children, not any of this. We're all facilitators. We're facilitators for people in our lives. We're givers. That's what we're here to do. Neiros. So the thing is that these gigantic Talmidim, and I'm going to end in 2.5 seconds, these gigantic Talmidim there's no recollection. No one knows who they are. No one knows that they existed. Not only was their Torah uprooted from this world, not only was their learning not even given, there was nothing left of them. Only Avelis. They created a tkuva of Avelis for Klal Yisrael. Such Avelis for Klal Yisrael, because they were such potential, and when there's such potential and it's lost, then there's Avelis. We are saddened by that. We can't get married on those days. We can't feel good on those days. We can't listen to music on those days. Because there was such greatness, there was such a potential for greatness, and it was lost. Why was it lost? Because they were from. But they were from. So, who's alive? Who's dead? Rabbi Shimon, that's been dead already for 2,000 years. You have 250,000 Jews from all over the world getting together and going up to where he's buried. We have people from all over the world constantly flocking to constantly all year long. You go there in the middle of the night, there are people there constantly by him. So who's alive?
Right.
Who's alive? What's life? What's death? What is life? And what is death? What does it mean to be alive? What does it mean to be? You can be a living, chas v'shalom, not you. A person could be a living corpse, and then you could have a corpse that's alive. So life and death, it doesn't mean that if I have a heartbeat that I'm alive. What it means that what I am, what I stand for, what I do, what I give, what I contribute, that's life. That's life. And let's not be mistaken by all the things that are come around along with frumkeit that want to pull us away from truth. Let's not be mistaken. And let's not judge those people either. Because that's also not good. Not to judge the people that are in their boxes and in their whatever, and they're not mikabel, and they don't accept people that are not da-da-da-da-da-da. Right? That we also have to love them. Everyone. Everyone. Just remember that that's why we're sitting here. That's why we're sitting here in Avail, is because of these people that weren't able to love and honor each other and respect each other. And then we're given this little day of Kabbalah Torah, Pnimius Torah, by this man that wasn't even supposed to be born in this world because it was against all odds, and he stood for only love and only caring, only no judgments. And that's our life. That's what our life is supposed to be about. And that's the only way we're going to have Mashiach. That is the only way. That is the only way we're going to have Mashiach. That's it. Let's open our hearts, open our boundaries, open our minds, come out of our comfort zones, and start loving each other. And I want to say one thing, please. I don't know what's happening in the area. All I know is that there are a lot of people that need invitations for different things. There are a lot of kids that are in public school. There are a lot of people that would love to go away for Shabbos. There are a lot of things and there's not enough open doors. Okay? And we have to open our doors. We have to open our doors. We have to come out of our comfort zones. We have to. And that Rebbitzin that we don't want to be like, because she looks like that, and she's in her little kitchen with all those kids and whatever, and she looks like such a nebach, and I don't want to look like that. I don't want to be that way. I'm not even thriving for that. You don't know what's going on in her heart, and you don't know how happy she is, and you don't know how connected she is to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and you don't know on what level she is. So maybe on the outside it looks like she's whatever, but we know that this world is all in the shikra. So what looks like it is, and what is hard to come by. Hard to come by. So let's be the exception. Thank you so much. Have a beautiful Lag Baomer. Light a candle tonight. Light 15 candles if you want. Have in mind, when you're standing there by the bonfires, have in mind, Hashem, I want to be Mekabel, the Pnimius Torah. I want to live my life on the level of Pnimius Torah. I don't want any of the sheker. I don't want any of the externalities. I want the truth. I want the heart. I want the soul of Yiddishkeit. That's what I want in my life. Say it if you want to. Thank you. Thank you so much.